Rick Lagina and Gary Trayton are searching an area where they have made some of the oldest discoveries ever documented, not only on Oak Island, but in all of North America.
You're about due for a coin, Gary.
I am overdue a coin. Yes, a coin!
1 week ago, Gary, along with Rick, Marty, and their partner Craig Tester,
This is clearly Roman design.
Roman, baby!
unearthed 4 ancient coins in this area, making a total of 5 that have been discovered in the past year. Incredibly, 3 of these coins have been determined by numismatist Sandy Campbell to date between 500 AD and 300 BC, and to also be of Roman origin.
Lot 5 is a complete mystery. It's a mystery in terms of the man-made constructs, the kinds of artifacts that have come out of the ground. It's mystifying.
Gotta come out, because I don't know what it is. Right in the middle, mate.
Okay.
Think it's it. Sounds a little bit better now.
Come on, be something.
Some kind of strap. And this looks like it goes down like to a point there and then down there. It's almost decorative, like a decorative strap.
Yeah, it could be just something broken off of something else.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these straps were around boxes or chests. That would be cool.
There you go.
I would imagine this is something to do with whatever that depression is over there.
A strap, possibly from a box or chest? Could Gary be correct that it might be related to the nearby circular depression? Or might it possibly be connected to the numerous Roman coins that the team has found in this area?
That CT scanner will give us a good view of this.
At that point, you no longer have to speculate as to what it is. You speculate as to its purpose.
Yeah.
The information that Emma and the CT scanner will provide might be very highly revealing what it means to the feature on Lot 5. You can't argue with the science. It will be what it will be, and hopefully that information connects up to the greater mystery.
Let's see if we can rustle up another find. We have got something in this area.
Let me just brush the stuff away and then take another swing, right?
Not sure what it is. It's this side of that root.
Oh, wow. It's not the easy one.
I think it's it. Could be iron. It is iron. Chunky iron, look at that. Heck is that?
No idea. Heavy?
Oh yeah, it's heavy. Well, I believe this is some kind of fastener by the look of it. And it could be a rosehead type fastener. It's old. A lot of that old hand-forged iron tends to be on the heavy side.
Well, we're close to the most prominent feature on the Lot 5, right? And if there was a structure, what do you need to put a structure together but fasteners, right?
Yeah.
Why are we finding bits of iron on lots where significant finds are made is very strange, given the fact that iron was a valuable resource and you wouldn't just waste it. So what is the explanation? As of yet, I don't think we know.
And these are the type of things that you show at Carmen, and you never know, it could be more than what we believe it is. Adding to the story on Lot 5.
Yep. Emma's going to be busy.
The following morning,
There he is.
How are you?
Carmen?
Hey, Carmen, how are you?
Not too bad.
Rick Lagina and members of the team meet with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg at the Oak Island Interpretive Center.
As you see, we've got a bunch of items here that have been recovered from a specific lot of interest.
You see that?
Carmen has been invited to examine some of the artifacts that were recently discovered on Lot 5.
I think I'll go over to this one here now.
I'll give you a little bit of context on the chunky piece of iron. Found on Lot 5, and when it first came up, I knew it was old because it's nice and heavy, and it just had a feel like it was some kind of broken tool to me, or fastener.
It's very old. This is much older. Could we have a scan of that? I need to see the head.
The head? Yeah.
From what I see there on the head there, it looks like it was a broken end off of something.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it could be some sort of a chisel.
Yes, this could be a tool that could be used for mining or tunneling.
Wow. And with the size that you've got in your hand, mate, how much bigger would it have been?
Lengthwise, it would probably be looking at a foot. If it's shorter than that, again, it might not be long enough to fulfill the purpose of what you want it for.
Could we see the metallurgy, Emma?
Sure thing. No modern elements. Potassium and calcium, so it's an older metal.
That's good. So we've got a lot of old fasteners and tools, and more to come, mate.
Yeah, I'll go with this one here next. It looks like a bow tie strap. You can see how
You can see the bow tie.
Yeah, you can see
What's a bow tie strap?
It was a decorative piece that had decoration to it, so it would be narrow or wide, all the way around to decorate a chest.
Oh, so specifically chest decoration?
Yeah, wooden boxes and chests.
Okay.
That's exceedingly interesting. Is there a cultural influence?
Yes. French.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This decorative strap indicates earlier French. So to me, it indicates the French were here first and then the English.
A decorative strap from a chest? One that is not only possibly of French origin, but may also predate the 17th century? If so, who brought it to Oak Island?
We found important artifacts that have been French. We can't forget, of course, the lead cross, where the testing has indicated that the lead came from the southern part of France.
Yeah, don't get any better than that.
It's curious that this stuff is found near an area on the Xena map that is a French map that is a possible location for a hatch.
In 2016, the late author and researcher Zena Halpern presented maps of Nova Scotia and Oak Island featuring French writing, and which she believed had been created between the 12th and 14th centuries by members of the Knights Templar. This led Zena to theorize that Oak Island had been visited numerous times by the Templars and related organizations, such as the Freemasons, in order to hide sacred valuables. Is it possible that the discoveries made by Rick, Marty, and their team, such as the lead cross and the numerous finds on Lot 5 that predate the discovery of the money pit, offer mounting evidence that Zena's theory is true?
We have long puzzled about the possibility that these French items, the lead cross and Zena's map, were associated with some depositional work. I have always believed that this work on Oak Island, the original depositional work, was started incredibly early. We just have to fill in the gaps more precisely, more accurately, more definitively, but it's very interesting.
The artifacts you've shown me over the years is very unique. There's artifacts coming out of Oak Island that I haven't seen anywhere else.
That's the reason for this type of analysis. What we're trying to do is come to an understanding of what the item represents in terms of the complexity of the story on Oak Island. It's not a simple process.
Makes me want to get back to Lot 5 and find some more.
Well, let's have at her.
That's why we have a lot more to dig. We have a lot more to excavate.
All I can say, Carmen, is thank you. Appreciate it.
See you later.
All right.
Hey, Jack, what do we got?
It's all just a jumble, but you never know what you're gonna find.
Alex Lagina arrives at the wash table to help Jack Begley continue searching through the remaining spoils recently excavated from the TF1 shaft.
Have you found much pottery?
No, we're finding less stuff on the table because the wash plant's operating very effectively. There's actually a lot of possibilities for finding something really good in TF1. So maybe if there is some sort of a treasure nearby, we can at least catch a piece of that and figure out what's causing the gold anomalies down in C1 once and for all. Oh. Wow. Wow, wow. It looks like parchment, but it's got something shiny on it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see those silvery flecks? The parchment that I found with Hensky several years ago, it had the same fibers kind of around the side.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's that scrap of parchment or paper with a VI on it. I mean, this could be related to that. It's possible.
A possible piece of parchment found in the spoils of the TF1 caisson? In 1897, when treasure hunters Frederick Blair and William Chappell drilled into what they reported to be a 7-foot-tall wooden vault encased in concrete, they were astonished to recover gold shavings on their drill bit, as well as a piece of parchment bearing the letters VI.
Oh, look at that.
Is that concrete?
Yeah.
1 week ago, the team found bits of concrete in the TF1 spoils as well. Is it possible that they have discovered 2 pieces of evidence connected to the fabled Chappell Vault? If so, could that mean that they are now on course to recover the rest of the vault's contents within the EC1 shaft?
Just the color of it and the inconsistency.
I agree with you. The inconsistency of it is very interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm encouraged either way. If it's paper or if it's parchment, they're both dateable.
And it might be an indication that we're close to the real money pit or somewhere within the collapsed debris zone. The odd thing about this possible piece of parchment is that on one side, it's shiny. It's got bits of what looked to me like silver. In like medieval times, they'd take gold and silver leaf and apply it to parchment as a sort of accent, especially if the documents were worthwhile.
Alex, Jack,
Hey, guys.
we're checking on the wash table.
Well, you came at a good time.
Guess what we think this is? Here, take a look at it. This is from TF1.
Is it parchment?
I'm not sure. Jack and I have both looked at it. We can't tell if it's parchment or paper or what it is.
And I think if it's not parchment, it looks like an early type of paper.
This is definitely worth testing.
Yes. If it dates to the early 1600s, then we got something.
It can't have been easy to pull that out of
I don't know how he saw it. It's amazing.
Good find. Excellent.
Thanks. We'll keep looking.
We'll let you know.
We just found something at the money pit on the wash table. It looks like a piece of parchment.
Okay.
In the interpretive center, Rick Lagina, along with Craig Tester and Laird Niven, are meeting with imaging experts John Genke and David Sampson to have the possible parchment just found in the TF1 spoils analyzed in the Skyscan 1273 device.
Yeah, we're scanning.
Okay.
So the next step, once we have all of those different slices collected, is that we're going to reconstruct the original sample. Now, on the image itself, what you're seeing is these very straight lines on the top and the bottom. So that's the actual pieces of paper that we've inserted in order to hold the parchment in place. And the parchment's going down the center line.
I would expect to see some sort of fiber.
Isn't that fibers you're seeing sticking out the sides, though, or not?
Yeah, I'm starting to see that same thing, Craig.
Especially up top there. Yeah,
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good news is iron, in particular, when it's hit with X-rays, it tends to glow. It's a process called fluorescence. So if we see a lot of those rays coming out from it, it could be indicative of iron. So as we're looking at that center line where we'd expect the parchment, you can see those very, very bright spots. That could actually be some of the writing.
Some of the older inks were made of gall, and so that is a metal. It's an iron-based ink.
Iron gall ink, also known as oak gall ink, is composed of iron salts and tannic acids from vegetable sources and was developed in Europe during the 5th century AD. Ever since the discovery of parchment deep in the money pit back in 1897, many researchers have speculated that the treasure lying deep in the booby-trapped money pit is composed of not just gold, silver, and jewels, but also priceless documents.
Even if the ink itself is no longer readable, that iron should be left behind and should be visible.
Is it possible that the team has found more evidence that this theory could be true? If so, what sort of documents would someone want to hide by such ingenious means?
If we had actual proof that there were a book, a parchment, an old tome, at depth in the money pit, it's all exciting.
So at this point in time, can you make a determination whether it's parchment or something completely else?
What we can say at this point is that we tend to see some lines, which would be indicative of, say, a type of parchment. Generally, when we've looked, though, at more modern fibers, that structure becomes very apparent very quickly. Here, we're seeing more of a rudimentary style to it. The fibers seem to be a little bit larger. Yes. It likely wasn't placed there recently, that it has some historical context to it. So we are likely looking at something, a little bit older. So, my suggestion would be that we set up a little bit longer scan, get a little bit higher resolution on this, and then we get back together maybe in the war room.
I think that's a proper plan. Right. Let's do the high-res scan and see what happens.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, we'll get that started.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
The following morning,
So, guys, today we have the gentlemen from Brooker, John and David.
Hi, Marty.
brothers Rick and Marty Lagina and members of their team are meeting in the war room with imaging experts David Sampson and John Genke regarding the possible parchment discovered one day ago in the spoils from the TF1 shaft.
So yesterday we gave them the parchment that Jack found, and we got incomplete information yesterday. So these gentlemen were kind enough to rerun the sample at a higher res, and I believe this is the information they're going to present to us today.
Yeah, so we looked at this piece of what we're calling parchment, and what we see is that there's some striations in it. So if you look carefully, you can see that there's directionality. Now, when we think about indelible types of material that people would write on in the past, one thing you would generally find in that is not so much of this specific striation. Now, that being said, one nice thing about this technology, though, is that we can actually look deeper. So, Dave, maybe if you could bring up a cross-section.
Sure.
As you see those little streaks coming off, that tends to come from materials like iron. So iron glows when you hit it with X-rays. And that's what we're seeing here, just a little artifact from that glow.
I saw those shiny bits up at the table. Are you saying those are iron?
Well, we can refer to it as it's high density, likely iron.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that older ink has a high iron content.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wouldn't expect to see that as a big chunk of iron, though. I'd more likely see that as some sort of streaking across the material.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit different colored.
From this, what we can see now is relative densities. And as we look at that inner part, it tends to indicate that we're looking more at a paper, probably a cellulose-type product, not necessarily an animal skin.
Right.
What about the green and the blue blob?
Very good question.
Yeah.
So blue now, that's your little chunks of the iron.
Oh.
The green, now what are we looking at there? Well, that's when we started thinking. We brought in a little bit of context from what could be present at the site. And one thought was that this could be a coated paper product. Something very traditionally found maybe somewhere around here. Might be something coated with wax.
It held up.
So it'll hold up, it's resistant to moisture. In fact, it's so resistant to moisture, it's typically used for say, wrapping explosives.
Is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
Well, that definitely matches the historical record.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the fall of 1909, Upon reaching a depth of nearly 100 feet in the money pit, workers of Franklin Roosevelt's Old Gold Salvage Company exploded dynamite in the shaft, hoping to not only clear the debris from the 1861 collapse, but also as an attempt to seal off the flow of seawater from the flood tunnel. The effort failed on both counts, and the company would close down operations at the end of the year. Could the team have now determined why they discovered only small fragments of gold earlier this year during their core drilling program? And if so, since they have also detected high concentrations of both silver and gold where they are currently digging EC1, could that mean they are on course to locate the vast cache of treasure that people have been trying to find since 1795?
If dynamite was dropped somewhere right near a treasure, you might tend to find small bits of metal with gold on them, and we did. So that's good. That's good stuff. It makes us keep looking.
What's important is that we were able to discern what it was. It's about what the technology can tell us, how we can use that information to perhaps provide us with greater understanding of what happened out on this quite mysterious place.
All right, very, very, very great presentation. And we're impressed, so let's go look at some more stuff as soon as you're able. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go.